Hello there, this is only one Kenobi, only one. Now this is another really good one, ladies and gentlemen. Now, like I was just saying with Barrisofi, the whole line is saturated with, good quality figures, top articulation, and just generally attention to detail, like with the tattoo you saw on the back of her hand, But this one just sort of stands out that bit more, and it's got to be right up there with my favourites just because of who he is. It's the Rebel Fleet Trooper, one of the first characters you see in the whole saga, and so he's got that bit more sentimental, whatever, above the rest of the characters that you can get that are available. And I got this for a really good price again, on eBay. So it's come from another collector. I got it around 2015/2016 when I decided to have a carded collection. So, but the thing is that I was just going to say to you that I think that this guy has. I wouldn't be surprised if since Rogue One he has escalated in value. There's more demand for these guys. They appeared. They had a big scene there as well. And I think I got it for £14, including postage. This, I swear to God, this one. That one I bought and I opened it. I obviously wanted it loose. And I'm also going to show you in this video, on the reverse side of this card, you'll see the original release. But I also have them down here as well. So we'll talk to you about that in a minute. First off, let's start with the card and the bubble. Classic Star Wars chase. You can't beat it. Fantastic. Enough said. Nice image. Brilliant image, actually. Just like it would have been in the 70s and 80s. The image is just no BS. It's just right there. Dare I say it's a little bit fuzzy, which is what you want, really. They just snatched an image from the film or the set or whatever, and it just captures that classic vintage style. This figure was released in 2011, so it's certainly encapsulating or doing something to kind of lend itself to the vibe of the 80s and 70s, of course, the vintage line. And there is inside a figure that is vastly superior to anything they would have released in the 80s and 70s, but it is a modern, super articulated Rebel Trooper with all those accessories there. The figure I've got rotating, that we'll have a look at in a moment, has not got some of these accessories on him. I've put them away somewhere. There's a cap that comes with it, because I think that they were wearing caps on the Yavin base. And also, you'll see that I've put that on him. It's like an ammo clip or something like that goes on his leg. And also, the little speed tester or whatever he's got in his hand, that the guy on the little tower is using. So there is the figure. Here he is, and he's really cool, man. I don't have my figures on display at the minute. They're all in boxes, but when I have them on display, he takes the front. These guys are just behind him. It's like army building kind of thing, So, but he is brilliant. I wished I had more of him so I could do a bit of head swapping. Because it's possible to take the heads off. It's a ball jointed head. But really nice. I might take the helmet off for you just to show you that. Might as well. Why not, eh? There's the speed gun. Like a traffic cop. And there's that facial sculpt there. Very nice. I don't know if it's anyone specific, but it certainly just reminds you of the guys that you see in the opening scene. And I love that scene with Vader in Rogue One as well. Launch! Gareth Edwards gets himself involved with a little cameo there. A lot more subtle, that cameo, than it was in The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, anyway. There is the facial sculpt. Sorry, there is the head. I'm sorry, let me just put him down here. Go down under the lights, just so you can see it. And I've got several Imperial Navy commanders loose that I picked up from the Black Series. I wished I had more of this guy, this Rebel Trooper, because I could head swap with him, couldn't I? The Imperial guy, to do a bit of army building. But unfortunately, this is the only loose one I have, unless I open this, which I'm not gonna, because he's worth a lot more now. The card is in better condition than the Barrisofi one. Look at that. As in, there's no creases on this one, so this is pretty much factory fresh, Even though it's bypassed the factory and gone to another owner before me. Let's have a look on the back. So, this is the original release. And yes, it's amazing that this was never put in the original line of vintage figures, as in 70s and 80s line. This was the first time it came out in 1995 to 1997. And he's down here. Look at the state of this figure. Look how muscular he is. What were they thinking? I mean, I thought 80s was the era of muscle. Not the 90s. I thought people had calmed down by then. He-Man and all that were all in the 80s. And Hulk Hogan and the wrestling era, big was in around the 80s. But then by the 90s, I thought people were trimming down. Like the advent of cruiserweight wrestlers and stuff in wrestling, you know, brought back the bulk. But no, for whatever reason, in the mid-90s, Kenner, yes, it was Kenner who were still producing the stuff. There's the Kenner badge there on that one. They decided that this kind of He-Man look was in, and it does not make any sense to me. You know, maybe the very early 90s, I'd let them off, like the cusp of 1990, 89, when you had Turtles around and they were buff. But, you know, what were they thinking? Anyway, rant over. There he is. There's that one. And then this one came in the Power of the Jedi line. And I remember seeing this one. If you're watching Blacked Out Ewoks, I bought this one in Wandsworth. I just saw the fact that it was a Rebel Trooper and I thought, man, I got to buy it. But this is the pose you can get him in because his legs are swivel. Just bear with me. I'm going to show you how it works. In the packaging, he looks like that. He's stood up. But what you can do with him is you can sort of bend that like that because it's a swivel, and then you can have him cocking an E. So that's why I have him like that. I have him like that. I have him with his back to me when I have him displayed because I can't stand that ripped chest. It just doesn't work. He could be a ripped, you know. There could be some guys in the army who are more ripped than others, but then when I have them on display, unfortunately they're all in packaging now, I have it like that. These guys are just a little bit of background, foreground kind of action, and then this guy takes the front because he's the premium one. He's the best example of a figure of this character anyway. And wouldn't it be nice if they had a chance to repack him or bring him out again? Because I wouldn't say no to more of these. Or they could swap the face or something and put him on a Rogue One card. I don't know. He's not necessarily a priority. That was just an idea I thought I'd put out there. But there you go. Look at that. Look at the balance of the colours on this card. I love it. They've taken that colour tone of blue there, which works so well with the vest. That is a nice balanced card. And look at it. It's actually going very nicely with the background of my wall here and the Only One Kenobi logo. Look at that. Screen grab that, ladies and gentlemen. Screen grab that. It looks good. Yeah, so that's a beautiful card. This is Rebel Fleet Trooper, ladies and gentlemen. This is VC52. I have been Only One Kenobi. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, because we are going through the vintage collection all the way. And this is the latest episode. Thank you for watching. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.